12 hours of non-stop competition, 5 disciplines, 1 sport. This is modern pentathlon. Over the last 5 months, the pentathlon field has been competing across the globe in the World Cup Series. And it was Italy's Riccardo De Luca who took victory at the recent World Cup final in Minsk, just edging out Ukraine's Pavlo Tymoshenko in a dramatic finale to lift the gold medal. From Minsk, the athletes travelled to the German capital of Berlin for the biggest event on the 2015 pentathlon calendar, the World Championships. Amidst the many landmarks, symbols and iconic sites that are forever associated with its turbulent political past, Berlin also has a rich and proud modern pentathlon history, having hosted the 1936 Olympics and more recently the 2007 World Championships at the Olympic Park. For the athletes, the competition marked the high point in the pentathlon season, with Olympic qualification places available to the top 3 finishers, as well as the chance to be crowned world champion. With only 2 weeks having passed since becoming the World Cup final winner, Italy's Riccardo De Luca was amongst the favourites, and he was the first to admit that the biggest victory of his career so far hadn't been the best preparation for Berlin.
I feel really relaxed, maybe too much relaxed, because I need getting focused to provoke to myself the concentration that I need to fight during the fencing or fight during the last 50 meters in swimming. So it's a little bit harder. I thought it was easier because now I feel relaxed after I got the results, but it's never done. I always do keep your brave, keep your courage to carry on.
One of De Luca's main rivals was expected to be the man he beat to the gold in Minsk, Pavlo Tymoshenko.
Hope, like always, to make my best. Like all athletes want to make best on the main competition in season, the World Championships. So just this, to make my best competition, like always.
After a strong season, Egyptian Amro El Jaziri had moved to the top of the world rankings, and he was hoping to convert that position into medals.
Of course, this is the World Championship, the most important competition of the season. I'm currently ranked #1, so I hope I keep that rank. This competition is qualifying for the Olympic Games, so I hope I can get one of the 3 spots, and that would get me a medal anyways.
The first big test for El Jaziri would be to qualify through the semi-finals, a big challenge in itself, with the World Championships attracting the strongest field of the season so far.
Today, obviously, we've got the semi-final. It's a really tough semi-final. So getting to the final is always tricky. Once we're in there, hopefully we can have a couple of good results in each of the events, and then we'll see where we are at the end of the day. I think top 8 is a good aim to be, and if you put yourself in that mix, you never know what might happen on the day. You know, it's pentathlon. But yeah, top 8 would be great.
With 90 of the world's finest athletes competing for just 36 final places, the 3 semi-finals were expected to produce some close competition. The day began in typically dramatic fashion in the fencing hall, before the athletes moved to the outdoor pool for the 200-metre freestyle swimming. Several leading competitors set personal best times, but no one could get close to American Logan Story, who blitzed his heat to set a new pentathlon world swimming record of 1 minute 53.08 seconds.
A little surprised, to be honest. I went out when I needed to. I had my coach on the side telling me what I was out in, just under 55, and I just brought it home strong. Shocked to see the time, to be honest, but I did what I needed to place myself in a good position to final later today.
With just the final combined event to go, most of the sport's leading athletes were well placed to qualify. Amro El Jaziri started his semi-final in first, and he qualified comfortably, whilst Pavlo Tymoshenko was part of a bunch finish to secure his final spot from the second race. The real drama of the day came in the third and final semi, which included defending world champion Alexander Lasun. The Russian has had an injury-hit season so far, but he enjoyed a confident start to the competition to qualify comfortably. 2012 Olympic champion David Svoboda was another leading name recovering from a long-term injury, and he came through a tough semi-final to make the top 8 and guarantee a final place. As he predicted, Ricardo De Luca had been a little too relaxed coming into the event, and after starting the combined well down in 14th, he fought his way through the field to qualify in the main group. Sarasota World Cup winner Jamie Cook had a disastrous time on the shooting range, and he faced an anxious wait after a sprint finish before being confirmed as the 35th fastest qualifier. Finals day dawned sunny and very hot, with temperatures already soaring as the athletes prepared for the first discipline, the 200-metre freestyle swimming. The 5 heats are run in order of qualification times, with the slowest swimmers up first. Kecskemét World Cup winner Valentin Belod went in lane 3, with Rome World Cup winner Pavlo Tymoshenko next to him in lane 4.
Hey, come on.
And the men's final has started, heat number 1.
Belod still controlling this one from the front, and as they turn with 50 to go, good performance from him, but look at the man in second, Fedechko of the Ukraine, holding off his compatriot Tymoshenko, who's now in third. But Belod, very good qualification time, and this is certainly going to be close, if not better than that. And he's getting pushed all the way here, and it's Fedechko that's pushing him, and Belod is having to work really hard through the closing stages, and that means he's going to be even better on the clock than we thought. Belod pushing very hard through the final few strokes and touches at 2:07.03. Fedechko second, Tymoshenko third.
So it's a delighted Valentin Belod who takes the first heat with a winning time over 2 seconds faster than he managed in qualifying. Heat 2 saw 2008 world champion Ilya Frolov start in lane 2, with World Cup final winner Ricardo De Luca in lane 7.
It's a good start in heat number 2.
At the moment, Kinderis with 50 to go is just hanging on, but Prad, I think he's timed this very well indeed, and it looks to me as if he's got a little bit left in the tank. And who else is he going to be able to take with him? There's a couple of really strong finishers in this field, and Prad is one of them and pushing hard, and Kinderis is fading. The Frenchman finishing really strongly, and so is Frolov. The Russian Ilya Frolov, the 2008 World Championship gold medalist, pushing really hard in 2. And he's going to come through here and take Kinderis. Prad's going to get it at the top. It's the Frenchman in first, and Kinderis has missed out to Frolov. What a finish from the Russian.
Heat 3 saw the defending world and current Olympic champions both swim, with Alexander Lassun in lane 2 and David Svoboda in lane 7.
A good start for heat number 3. Out in lane 2.
Well, the two big names in this race, Lassun and Svoboda, at the moment not showing. Polivka is just ahead of Wu as they turn into the next 50 metres. And this is going to start to get really tight now. And it's all going to be about how well the likes of Lassun and Svoboda have timed this in terms of trying to take something into the rest of this day. But for the moment, it's all about Polivka trying to hold off the attentions of Wu and Swiderski. And as they move to the final turn with 50 metres ahead, this could be a really big 50 metres for a couple of names in here. Lassun is going to have to make a move, as is Svoboda. And everybody watching to see what sort of shape Svoboda is in coming into this World Championships. Wu then working very hard to try and take Polivka, and Polivka is starting to fade, and Wu is taking Swiderski with him, and Lassun starting to make a move. My goodness me, the Russian nearest the camera is starting to come really strong in the final stages. Wu's going to get it, Swiderski second, but Lassun gets his world title defence off to a really good start.
A superb last 25 metres then for Lesun, with Svoboda just half a second behind in equal fourth. Heat 5 was expected to be the fastest of the morning so far and included 3 South Koreans, Lee Woo-jin, Hwang Woo-jin and Jung Jin-hwa.
Some really good swimmers in this heat, and no surprise to see that it's a fast time. Hwang turns just ahead of Kustov and Woodbridge. So Korea, with 3 men in this race, can't pack out the top spots at the moment. Hwang is the man that is flying the flag, and as they fly down this last 50, we are heading for the quickest time of the day so far, no doubt about it, and it looks like Hwang is going to set this time as well. Very, very strong through this last 10 metres, and he's going to touch under 2 minutes. Both he and Lee get under 2, and Adam Morosi in 6th. He's got a lot of work to do today.
The final heat of the morning was expected to be a showdown between the 2 fastest swimmers in the sport, Great Britain's Jamie Cook and Egypt's Amro El Jaziri.
Well, we love a good head-to-head in modern pentathlon. It's what drives the sport on in the individual disciplines. And just like in the pool on the women's side of the draw, Clavel versus Murray, El Jaziri versus Cook on the men's side of things is equally entertaining. I'm watching on El Jaziri's fiancée, Isabella Isaacson. She's watching a very good performance here. Stroke for stroke at the moment. Cook has had the upper hand for the first part of this race, but El Jaziri, the master of timing when it comes to the pool. Still side by side. Cook's going to turn in lane 4, just ahead of El Jaziri, his arch rival in the water. And they are quite a way ahead of the nearest challenger, Gralewski from Poland. Cook then pushing hard, trying to maintain his rhythm. But El Jaziri just keeps going, and look at this. What a beautiful swim from the Egyptian. And El Jaziri has just turned on the afterburners as we come through to this last 25 metres. He's taken it away from Cook. We're going to get 2 very quick times again, both men under 2 minutes. But it's El Jaziri who draws first blood here in Berlin. Cook missing out to El Jaziri, but still a cracking swim.
I'm really satisfied in 156. It's better than the semi-final, the second best for me this season. Very close to my Olympic record, so I'm really satisfied with the swimming. I felt good, it was amazing, and it's a very good start for the day.
It's a nice race, you know. Amro obviously beat me again. It's becoming a bit of a habit, but he's a fantastic swimmer, and he always gets me on that last length, so it just shows how strong he is. It's nice to get a good total on the board. Obviously we go into the fence, so we'll have to see how that goes.
So here's confirmation of the swimming times, with Amro El Jaziri taking victory and 351 points, with Jamie Cook in second, 4 points behind. That superb time in Heat 5 gave Korean Hwang Woo-jin the 3rd fastest time overall and 342 points, with compatriot Lee Woo-jin just 1 point behind. With the rest of the top 10 covered by just 2 points and several other athletes who are expected to challenge for overall victory swimming well, it's wide open as the competition moved on to the second discipline. For many, the round-robin épée fencing is the most unpredictable and important event of the day, being the only one of the 5 disciplines where face-to-face competition means victory not only earns points, but takes points away from their rivals. All 36 athletes compete against each other in 1-minute bouts, with the first to get a touch being the winner. As one of his weaker events, a consistent performance was vital for second-place Jamie Cook's hopes of challenging for a medal. But a disastrous day on the piste all but ended his hopes after he suffered 24 defeats in his 35 bouts, leaving him down in 32nd overall. Italy's Riccardo De Luca topped the fencing standings at his recent World Cup victory in Minsk, but he struggled to find the same level of consistency here in Berlin, and 19 victories and 16 defeats left him outside the top 10. Another of the season's most consistent fencers has been Pavlo Tymoshenko, but he too struggled to find his best form, and he finished level with De Luca with 19 wins and 16 defeats. This loss against David Svoboda being typical of his day. Ahead of him, Valentin Belaude followed up his personal best swim with a strong fence, and he finished in equal fifth with 21 victories. Matching Belaude's performance was South Korea's Lee Woo-jin, and he followed up a strong swim with a confident display on the fencing piste. Joining Lee and Belaude with 21 wins were three other athletes, Poland's Szymon Staskevich, Belarusian Ilya Palazkov, who had his best performance of the season so far, and the leader after the swimming, Amro El-Jaziri. He struggled to find his form during the early rounds, but a string of victories late in the competition brought valuable points and kept him in the overall lead. After being out of top-level competition with injury for almost 2 years, David Svoboda was showing signs of being back to his best, and the Olympic champion was full of confidence and intent as he took 22 victories to finish in third. Equaling Svoboda's performance was China's Han Jiahao. He followed up a strong swim with a confident display on the piste to put himself right into overall contention at the top of the leaderboard. Perhaps the surprise of the morning was the performance of Ukraine's Andriy Fedechko. He overcame many of his more experienced opponents to finish with 24 victories and second in the discipline.
I'm very happy with my performance today in the fencing, because I did a lot of hard work and preparation before the World Championships. I already competed with my brother in the men's relay event where we came fourth, which wasn't a bad result, but we were disappointed to miss out on a medal. After the relay, I had a really good performance in the semi-final, so I feel in really good shape, and I hope everything will go well in the rest of the events. Thank you.
Only one man fenced better than Fedechko, defending world champion Alexander Lesun. After an injury-hit season when some in the sport began to question if his best days were over, Lesun answered the critics in emphatic fashion with a superb performance of precision and passion to finish clear of the field with 25 wins. So it's Lesun who tops the fencing results with 250 points, 6 ahead of Andriy Fedechko, and Han Jiahao and David Svoboda in equal third with 232 points. Valentin Belaude and Amro El-Jaziri head the group, who all finished on 226. And it's just enough to keep El-Jaziri on top in the overall standings, with Lesun up to second, just 3 points off the overall lead. After 2 strong performances, Han Jiahao is third with 571 points. Lee Woo-jin is up to fourth on 567. Andriy Fedechko is in fifth after his superb fence, with Ilya Palazkov sixth, and Olympic champion David Svoboda still well in contention in seventh, just 23 points behind the leader. From the fencing hall, the competition moved back outside and into the main arena for the fencing bonus round. Athletes are ranked in reverse order of the round-robin fencing standings and compete head-to-head, with each victory earning 1 point equal to 1 second in time. It's an opportunity to gain time on their rivals, and the big winner was Pavlo Tymoshenko. A disappointing performance in the round-robin fencing left him down in 15th place. But with the winner of each matchup staying on piste, Tymoshenko took advantage of his opportunity and set a new pentathlon record of 9 straight victories, many of them against his rivals in the top 10. At the top of the leaderboard, Han Jiahao claimed 2 victories against Valentin Belod and Andrei Fedechko, before he faced up to Alexander Lesun in the final match of the round. That victory takes Lesun to within 2 points of leader Amra El Jaziri, with Han Jiahao also closing in. He's just 5 points off the lead in third. With millions of people watching the TV and online coverage of the World Championships, many had an opportunity to enjoy modern pentathlon for the first time. So, what is it that makes this great Olympic sport so special?
The most what we love in our sport is that we are competing in 5 different disciplines, that you need 5 different skills to fulfill on the physical side, on the mental side, on the intellectual side.
I think it's just the variety of sports. I mean, it's incredible to actually have an athlete that can do 5 different sports and compete at the maximum level of each sport.
Overall, it was interesting to go like from swimming, just like in one event, and come to pentathlon and do 5 things in one day. So it was really interesting and very exciting for me. And I mean, I recommend it to anyone. It's amazing.
I always think pentathlon is like a jigsaw. You've got five bits of the puzzle and you've got to put those together on the same day. It's a magical sport once you're in. The camaraderie amongst the athletes is brilliant. It's like a big family.
Most importantly for the youngsters, we want them to have fun. It's all about having fun, and I still go back to what kid doesn't like to ride horses, you know, shoot pistols, sword fight, and run and swim.
For the athletes, the next piece of the pentathlon puzzle is the third discipline of the day, the horse riding. Riders have never seen or competed on their horses before, and they are given just 20 minutes to familiarise themselves before riding a show jumping course that has 12 individual jumps, including 1 double and 1 triple combination. Each rider starts with 300 points, with 7 penalties deducted for each fence down, 10 for a refusal, and 1 penalty point for every second slower than the target time of 1 minute and 5 seconds. Italy's Riccardo De Luca started the riding well down in 23rd place overall.
1 fence down and 2 to go for De Luca. He's done well to put the disappointments of this morning to the back of his mind. And he's producing a good ride here. Just needs to pop it over 12. And there we go. But he'll be thinking, what could have been?
Another of the sport's leading names to have a frustrating morning was Olympic bronze medalist Adam Morosi. And he started the riding down in 20th overall.
Tight line into that spread at 7. And he's done it again, come inside that 12th fence, and that gives him a nice line into 8. Morosi, such a superb horseman, flat and fast through 9. And then into the double. So far, so good. And he's looking pretty good on the clock as well. Just has to fight with the horse a little into 11. But he's clean. And he's got a few seconds to play with here. And that's it. Morosi gives us our first 300-point score of the men's competition.
His superb performance in the bonus fencing had moved Pavlo Timoshenko up 7 places to 15th overall, and he needed a good round to keep him in overall contention.
The 28-year-old from Kiev. Very, very good in the final stages of modern pentathlon competitions, so this ride incredibly important. Safely through the first 3. Now this little tricky stride length into 5, and he's done it well. Just had to check the horse, but that's worked out nicely. Into the triple 6. And very comfortably through there. Timoshenko looks like he's on a really good horse here. Comfortably over the spread, and like most of the riders, just looking for that shortcut through to 8. And this is working really well for the Ukraine #1. 300 points would be dream territory at the end of the ride. And he's just got 2 fences to go, 11 and 12, and he's got Plenty of time in hand as well. 65 seconds, remember, is the maximum time for the course, and he's over 12. Clean and tidy from Timoshenko, and sets it up well for the end of the day.
We have a perfect ride score, a perfect score of 300 points.
Valentin Belot started the riding 13th and still well in overall contention with his strongest discipline, the combined event, still to come.
Belot on a wonderful horse called Blackjack. Just pops it over the double. Really easy through 11 as well. And Belot is going to get some time penalties, but he won't be too concerned about that. And he's good at 12, and Valentin Belot can look forward to the combined.
The first of the top 10 to ride was South Korea's Hwang Woo-jin.
Hwang into this triple that has caused relatively few problems, gave the middle section a rattle. Got a lot wider around fence 2 to set up for this spread at 7. Quite a circumspect round, this one from Hwang. Just has to chivvy the horse along at 8, and he's just had to dig deep there. Long way off of the fence, but this horse has got a lot in him. To the double at 10. So far, so good. Oh, that's unfortunate. Just a little lazy with the back legs. So that's one fence down. And Hwang is going to pick up some time penalties as well. And he'll be a little bit disappointed with that after such a good start.
Next on course was the second of 3 Koreans in the top 10, Jung Jin-hwa. He was still clear heading into fence 9.
So far, so good from Chung. I spoke too soon. Oh, what a shame. Just ploughed through 9. And unfortunately now that horse has lost just a little bit of confidence in the rider. And a nervous look across at 12. It's going to be time penalties as well. And unfortunately, Jung's score disintegrating.
China's Guo Jianli started the riding in 8th overall after 2 consistent performances so far. But he had a disastrous round to put 5 poles down and dropped right out of contention. Next to ride was 2012 Olympic champion David Svoboda.
The ever-popular Svoboda, oh dear, little groan from the crowd as he takes 4 down. And I'm sure that's because he was looking at the stride pattern into 5, which he got just right. So a couple of problems here for the man that trains with the US team over at Colorado Springs. And he's looking to try and time this push to the 2016 Rio Olympics just right. And he's getting this just right now. Svoboda settling into a very calm rhythm here. Over 9 and comfortably so. Looking good at the moment for the Czech Republic #1, but he just had to check the horse at the start of the double, and unfortunately that's cost him on the second upright. Final fence then, 12 to go for Svoboda. His score not quite where he would want it to be, but he's certainly back in business, is David.
So a disappointing end to his round for Svoboda. Next on course was 19-year-old Belarusian Ilya Palazkov, who was the youngest athlete to qualify for the World Championship final.
Well, the youngster with his mum and coach watching on. The same person, I hasten to add, and she won't be happy with that. That was a little bit careless over the spread at 7. Flies at 8 though. He's trying to inject a bit of pace back into this round, and he rattles 9. Comes down with a real clatter. Just spooked the horse a little, and he's caught the second upright at the double with the front legs. What a shame. Palazkov was going so well. Last bit of advice from mum as he heads into the final fence, and that'll do nicely. Good stuff from the youngster.
Perhaps the biggest surprise of the day has been the performance of Ukraine's Andrei Fedechko, who was competing in his first Senior World Championships.
Well, Fedechko led in the fencing right through to the last round until Lesun caught him, and I think that was our first real signal that this young man meant business after a good swim. followed it through with the fencing, and now we're seeing what he's all about on the horse. Pretty good stuff from him. Final fence, and I think Ukraine have got another star on their hands. Good work from him.
Just one fence down and no time penalties puts Fedechko into the overall lead with just 4 riders left to jump. Next to go was Li Wu-jin, and he already had 2 poles down heading into fence 10.
21 fencing wins, under 2 minutes in the pool, and absolutely flying around this course. He's riding it like the Grand National at the moment, is Li. Shouting woe to the horse, and the coach shouting the same thing as well. It's still going to be time penalties despite this flying round. And that's a shame. Li missing out here.
For Wu-jin Li and Armani.
With Guo Dian Li dropping out of contention, China's hope of a medal rested with 3rd place Han Jiahao.
Well, Han improving all the time. Every single one of his disciplines he's worked very hard on, and you can see that at this World Championships. He's come here as pretty close to the complete package. He's led before going into the combined this season, and he's going to be pretty close to it again today if he can ride this course well. This is good horsemanship from him. Heading into 6th then. Really surprised the triple hasn't caused nearly as many problems as the double today. He skips through that very comfortably. Positive stuff from the Chinese rider. Again, just cuts that little section off to get to 8 nice and quick. Kicking the horse on through 9. And this is an excellent ride from Han. Oh no, spoke too soon. Just had to check into the second upright of the double, and that caused problems at 11. But he got himself out of trouble there. 1 fence left for Han to be in a really good position here today, and just under the maximum time as well.
No time penalties for Han, and just 1 fence down puts him into the overall lead with just 2 riders left to jump. First to go was the defending world champion, Alexander Lesun.
Real pressure on Lesun, his coach shouting "Davai" from the sidelines. That's Russian for "let's go." And that's exactly what he's trying to do. He's a marvellous athlete to watch as he builds through the day. But this is pressure, and the pressure is telling. 9 comes crashing down. He can't afford another one. And immediately, first upright in the double down, and he's struggling at 11. He's over, but only just. And already down on 286 points, Lesun is going to have some work to do when it comes to the combined. Not quite what he was looking for there.
Last on course was overall leader Amro El Jaziri.
Amro El Jaziri had a fabulous day so far. But he's on a tricky horse, we know that. We've seen this horse misbehave with other riders. And he absolutely demolished 3, somehow got over 4 and clips out 5, and this is not a good start for the Egyptian, world number 1. Into the triple. Oh my goodness me. Well, difficult to say that things could get any worse, but they can, I'm afraid. A man whose combined isn't his strongest part of the day. Really did need the maximum 300 here, and he's going to be nowhere near it. In terms of the clock for the combined, he is losing time every single fence. Goodness me, this is turning into a demolition derby from El Jaziri. Usually such a competent horseman, shakes his head. I mean, what can he do? This horse has not played ball. Oh no, and a refusal at 12 just to add to the misery. Well, the show jumping phase, never easy. But I'm afraid that's it for El Jaziri. What a shame.
That disastrous round highlights just how challenging riding an unfamiliar horse can be, and ends El Jaziri's World Championship hopes for another year. So here's confirmation of the riding results, with Pavlo Tymoshenko and Adam Morosi the only riders to go clear within the target time and take the maximum 300 points. Andrei Fedechko, Ricardo De Luca, Valentin Belode and Han Jiaohao are the leading athletes to take 293. And that puts Han on top of the overall standings heading into the final combined event. He has a 6-second lead over Alexander Lesun, with Andrei Fedechko another 6 seconds further back in the third and final Olympic qualification spot. Pavlo Tymoshenko and Valentin Belode are up to equal fourth, just 27 seconds behind Han, and with both men having a strong combined, they are right in medal contention. Behind them are the Korean duo Hwang and Lee, whilst his clear round in the riding moves Adam Morosi up to 8th overall, with David Svoboda rounding out the top 10. And so to the final combined event, held over 4 laps of a course that includes sections of grass, brick paving and sand to total 3.2 kilometres of cross-country running, with the athletes having to hit 5 targets in the laser shooting before they can start each lap. With temperatures soaring close to record highs in Berlin, the athletes faced a supreme challenge to find which one of them would be crowned the 2015 World Champion.
Well, Han has led before coming into the combined this season, didn't manage to convert that race, but here at the World Championships, a very different demand for him. The adrenaline will be coursing. He's a big unit, is Han. Very, very good in the early phase of this competition, but he's backed it up nicely as well. And immediately, Lesun giving chase. That 6-second deficit will be wiped out pretty quickly by the Russian. And Lesun, normally a steady shot as well, but that's something that Han has improved dramatically. And using the laser pistol to take out all 5 targets and away nice and quickly. Lesun through his 5 as he's joined by Fedechko at the range. Now Han will need to pace himself a little bit, and that's the wonder of this combined event. First across the line is the winner. No messing about with time trials and calculations. It is this straight race once you factor in the time differences at the start. And Lesun giving chase with Fedechko. Those two might work together just to close Han down. And below, well, stuck at the range at the moment, the Frenchman. A little bit sluggish away from his first visit. De Luca starting 16th, World Cup winner this season. Very, very fast runner, so we know he's going to close down quite a few positions during the course of this race. And as fast as you can get in and out of the range, the better. And then on one of the grass sections of this course, few different elements of terrain to cover during the course of the 800-metre loops. De Luca, 16th away at the start. Funny how a place booked at the Rio Olympic Games puts a spring in your step. And the Italian moving nicely. Well, there are some quality runners out in the field. Han wouldn't say that he's one of those, but he really has worked hard on his style. But just starting to look a little laboured in this heat. Han working hard, but nobody with him at the moment. It's a very lonely place at the front of the field, and he will be tracked down pretty shortly by Lesun and Fedechko. Russia and Ukraine with a real shot at gold today. But can anybody else get in amongst it? Tymoshenko started 27 seconds off the pace of Han. But we've seen him do it before. We've seen him move from 10th position and close down 30 seconds during the course of a combined race this season. So Tymoshenko's good, we know that. And Han now looking very laboured on the sand. Does not look comfortable at the moment. And he's hit that phase in the race where it really is starting to hurt. And Lesun will see that body language, tucking in just behind him. And he's a nice unit to tuck in behind as well. You won't feel any draft at all in behind the big Chinese runner. Into the range, side by side for 1 and 2. And another 5 shots. Han missing with the first shot, has to tidy that up. Lesun 3 targets down. And he'll be hoping to get away from the range first, but this is a nice comeback from Han. What composure from the man in the #1 bib. That's brilliant work. Lasun does get away first, but Fedechko and Han not far behind him, and now at least Han has a target to work behind. Mentally, that's going to help. Timoshenko, 3 targets down, back at the range, 4, and he'll be flying out pretty shortly, and I do mean flying. Timoshenko, a class act when it comes to the combined. Below, a little bit shaky with his first visit to the range, but looks a little tidier this time around, and it's good to see from Han, refusing to let Lasun go. All about experience at this level. It's learning to get those results in these really difficult conditions. Lasun then trying to apply the pressure. I think he'll be most concerned about Fedechko, and as he moves around these loops as well, he'll be having a good look around for the likes of DeLuca and Timoshenko just to see if they are making any ground. Wow, look at that from DeLuca. You wouldn't know that the temperatures have been up in the high 30s and up towards the 40s. Looking very good, the Italian, and now Han is starting to tie up. Well, this is a real concern for Han, because running at this pace, he's going to be overpowered pretty quickly by the next group of athletes. And from Lasun's point of view, well, he's making the break now. Fedechko settling in just behind Han, but Lasun trying to make some sort of ground here, trying to build himself a lead, get himself some cover for coming into the range on the next visit. Really good crowd here in Berlin. They've enjoyed this event from start to finish, and it looks like we're on for a really good closer in this combined. Still bounding along as if it's the start of the day, not the end of the day. World Cup winner DeLuca looking good for Italy. But at the moment, Russia and Lasun lead ahead of China and Han, but I think that's going to change pretty shortly. I don't imagine Fedechko is going to allow Han to stay there running at that pace for too much longer. He's got to set his sights on the Russian ahead of him. But that's your 1, 2, 3 as we come in to the range for a third time. DeLuca is eating his way through this field. So the athlete's starting to get tired, and this is when the range really counts. And Lasun, look at that rhythm. The reload, just automatic after each shot. 5 targets down, straight through, and Lasun is out. Timoshenko joins Fedechko and Han at the range. And it's Fedechko that gets away. Han now, I think, getting just a little tight, just a little nervous. And when you add the fatigue in as well, this has been a laboured visit to the range, and he misses out. So Timoshenko gets away ahead of Han. And the big Ukraine, we know what a great stride length he has, and he is going to move now very rapidly through this field, and he's going to put some pressure on Fedechko and Lasun, and they will be completely aware that he is in the hunt and on their tails. Moving back into this grass area, a big loop that goes out and around the back of the field. Always opportunities just to have that little sneaky look over your shoulder on the angles. And Lasun shaking the arms out, trying to get the tension out of the shoulders ahead of what will be the most important visit to the range for him this season. A little look over the shoulder, and he will have seen Fedechko still in good shape, in second position, but he can't have failed to see Timoshenko, who has the afterburners on at the moment. Another look from Lasun. These mental calculations ahead of what will be the most important visit to the range for him this season. And look at this, Timoshenko has done it. He's tracked down Fedechko and moved past him. And you have to say, he's moved past his compatriot with some ease, and Timoshenko now has Lasun in his sights. Lasun trying to stay relaxed, but look at the pace of Timoshenko. Always runs with that pained expression on his face. but actually looking really fluid out there at the moment, and it's Le Sun that looks like he's just starting to feel it coming through this sandy section. Tymoshenko, not even a change as he hits this part of the course. And now the range will be all important. The heart will be pounding, the mouth will be dry, but you have to stay steady, you have to hold your nerve as you pick up the laser pistol for your next 5 shots, and Tymoshenko will close that gap right down, and what he will want is for Le Sun to be aware of him at the range as they come to their stations. Fedechko at the moment on his own in third, and in he comes, and a little glance from Le Sun. He knows he's got company. Now the shot's important, and Le Sun's missed target 3. So has Tymoshenko. And Tymoshenko gets 3 down quicker than Le Sun, and this is going to be neck and neck all the way. Tymoshenko just needs 5 to leave the range, but Le Sun has beaten him out. And Le Sun has at least given himself a fighting chance here. That's brilliant shooting from the Russian. But Tymoshenko, this massively popular athlete from Ukraine, settles in on the shoulder, and he's not going to stand on ceremony. He breezes past Le Sun, and as far as he's concerned, he's got enough in the tank, he's got enough quality in these final stages to get this across the line. And he leaves Le Sun in his wake. Le Sun now in second, Fedechko in third. So Ukraine 1 and 3 here in Berlin. And the Russian just sandwiched between them. And he has shown absolutely no signs of relenting. This has been incredible pace from Tymoshenko. And it's been a quite beautiful run to watch as well. And this man is sending out a marvellous message at these World Championships. Just a year to go until the Games in Rio. And it's another name to add to your list of favourites for the modern pentathlon men's gold. And Tymoshenko now just starting to wind this up. He wants to do it in style. He's giving full respect to Le Sun and Fedechko. And Fedechko looks like he's got a little bit left as well. He's moving very nicely in the final stages of this race. Well, considering the temperatures, considering the situation and the pressure today, we're seeing some really good times here in this combined. And Le Sun with a second wind, just trying to hold off the attentions of Fedechko. He's not going to get to Tymoshenko. He's away and clear and enjoying the plaudits of this fabulous crowd here in Berlin. Pavlo Tymoshenko has worked really hard today, and he's had to work in this combined, but he's closed everybody down. Got rid of the big challenge from Han, overpowered Le Sun in the range, and Pavlo Tymoshenko claims his first ever World Championship individual title. A marvellous win. He takes gold ahead of Alexander Le Sun from Russia in second. And it's a very good performance from Tymoshenko's compatriot Fedechko. He picks up a marvellous bronze. That's your 1, 2, 3 here in Berlin. With below 4th, Lee 5th, and Han having started first in the combined, coming across the line in 6th. But here in Berlin, there's your world champion.
So, after an incredible day of competition, it's Pavlo Tymoshenko who's crowned the 2015 Modern Pentathlon World Champion, finishing with 1,477 points. 2014 champion Alexander Le Sun came close to defending his title, but he has to settle for silver and a qualification spot for the Rio Olympics, with Andrei Fedechko making it 2 Ukrainians on the podium and capping the performance of a lifetime for him to take bronze and the final Olympic place. Valentin Belod only just missed out on the podium in 4th, with Li Wu-jin in 5th and Han Jiahao dropping to 6th. World Cup final winner Ricardo De Luca improved to 7th, with David Svoboda showing signs that he is close to being back to his best to finish 8th. Ilya Frolov and Adam Morosi round out the top 10. So it's gold and the 2015 World Championship title to Pavlo Tymoshenko of Ukraine.
I feel great. After short shooting, it was like 8 seconds to Fedechko and then 15 to Le Sun. I don't know how I decided it, but I decided to run faster at that lap. And when I understand that I catch Fedechka too fast, and I saw the soon not so far. I just forced myself not to look back, just run faster. It's not just World Championship, it's Olympic qualification, it's like best ranking in this year. It's amazing.
I'm very happy with the result. This silver medal is more important than last year when I won the gold medal. Because of injury, I couldn't perform well, and it was a very difficult season for me, so I'm very happy to return to the podium. This is very important for my country, so I'm very happy. And now I can start training for the most important competition in 4 years, the 2016 Olympics.
Надеюсь, что сейчас полноценно начну готовиться к главному старту четырехлетия.
Неожиданно, конечно, полно эмоций.
I really didn't expect to win a medal at the World Championships, and it was a very difficult competition. I worked very hard. I performed really well against the best 36 athletes in the world, and I'm very happy with this result and also to qualify for the 2016 Olympics.
Лицензия есть, будем стремиться до Олимпиады, выступать там, показывать результат.
That's all from us for this season. Join us again early next year for the start of the 2016 Modern Pentathlon World Cup.